So we're coming up to the end of May, and May has been and always is Mental Health Awareness Month. And this topic hits really, really close to a lot of moms who have struggled. So we are joined by two moms, co-founder of Mabel's Labels, Julie Cole, who's always here for our parenting panel each month. Great to have you, Julie. And a first-timer, writer and mental health advocate, Annie Lawton. Hello, Annie. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Julie.
Hello.
Okay, so let's get into some mental health and even some of your experiences, Annie, because you have written a book about your experience that came out in October.
Yes.
So, yeah, I think, in the old days, they used to say, oh, get on with it. It's the baby blues. I feel sorry for the mothers of generations past who were just told to suck it up. You're fine.
Right.
And there is a little more awareness, and Annie definitely has some personal experience and did write about it. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so I had a high-risk pregnancy, and I've since learned, since having my babies, that if you have a high-risk pregnancy, traumatic birth, or even previous mental health issues, you're already placed in a higher category for postpartum depression. I didn't know any of that until recently.
Right.
So I didn't really do anything to prepare myself for what was to come afterwards. So after thinking I might lose my baby for about 28 weeks of my pregnancy, I put up this protective wall, kind of withdrew a little bit. My son ended up being born healthy, but the damage had kind of already been done.
Could you talk to friends about it? Could you talk to family about it? Did you know what you were feeling? Like, could you express it in any way, or how did you express it?
Everybody wanted me to stay positive. Everyone said, Annie, the testing's going to come back okay, the baby's going to be okay. And then when the testing did come back okay, that's something to celebrate. But I think when you're trying to be strong for so long, and then you're given that relief, that's almost an opportunity for you to finally face the trauma you've been going through and actually break down. And that's kind of what happened for me.
Right.
Was writing a cathartic thing for you?
It was, and it started just to keep people informed about my pregnancy, because everyone would see my belly and come up to me and say, oh my gosh, are you so excited to have your baby? How's the nursery? What's his name? And inside I was thinking, I don't know if my son's going to survive. So I started writing about it on Facebook to keep friends and family in the loop. And after he was born and I went through postpartum depression, and then again, I kept writing, and it went viral and ended up 6 million people saw one of my posts about postpartum depression.
So it resonated. It resonated, and it was relatable. And I think it's really important that, as spouses or moms or sisters or friends, we need to be looking out for our friends and our family members when they do have a baby, because sometimes the symptoms can just look like regular, postpartum stuff. You're tired, you're irritable, but it's a little bit more than that. Like, you can get things like postpartum rage, and this is not like just irritability. This is like your husband forgets to take the garbage out and you want to murder him.
Yeah.
Like, it is, and it feels uncontrollable. And fatigue, not regular. I didn't suffer any of this. I was so lucky to have dodged that bullet. So of course I was tired, but I didn't feel fatigue the way, you can feel it. So this general sense of not feeling like yourself, feeling overwhelmed, like, you just don't leave me alone with the baby. So I think we should all be aware when we have a loved one who has had a baby.
There's no script. It's different for everybody.
Exactly.
Right? But that doesn't mean you can't talk to people.
And it doesn't matter, like, it could be your first you have it, your second, your third. It doesn't, it's hard to know.
And while I was pregnant with my second son, I was diagnosed with a tumor around my facial nerves that threatened paralysis of the right side of my face. And I remember thinking, everything about me is different. My whole identity is gone, and now I might lose my face as well. And it made me reflect back over why I felt so lost in motherhood. And it wasn't really the babies, it was that I changed myself so much as a young girl over the course of my life, trying to fit certain molds, that I wasn't my whole self when I became a mom to begin with.
Right.
So I think that is a big struggle.
Putting you more at risk.
It puts you more at risk too.
Okay.
We do need to,
We do need to get running out of time. St. Joseph's Healthcare Run for Women.
Yes. So this is coming up. Last year, I was the community champion for the St. Joseph's Healthcare Run for Women. And this year, I passed the torch to Annie, and she's the community champion.
Okay.
So tell us a little bit when it is and what your role is.
Yes, so it's taking place June 17th at Confederation Park in Hamilton. All of the money raised is going back to the St. Joe's Foundation and the Women's Maternal Mental Health Clinic, which ended up playing a big role in my support and transition. And you can sign up. It's through Shoppers Drug Mart at therunforwomen.ca.
Yeah.
Annie, thanks so much for sharing. What's your book called, if people want to?
Oh, Welcome to the Jungle, A Frantic Journey Through Motherhood and
You
Self-Discovery.
can find it wherever books are sold.
Yes.
I got it.
Yes.
Good seeing you.
Okay.
More Morning Live on your Friday after this.